Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo, this is my forever co-host Jump. Today we wrap up our Deadpool and Wolverine week with Deadpool 2 from 2018. Before we get into the meat of this movie, I would like to ask you what was your reaction when you found out that Josh Brolin was Cable and Thanos in the same year?
I was a bit confused because I was like, can people do that?
Right?
Especially in the same like it's under Marvel as well, so I'm like, weird, but okay. And well, the fact that they introduced like the multiverse now and everything, I'm not surprised anymore. But back then, I was just like, can studios do that?
Right?
But other than that, yeah, like I would say, yeah, Josh Brolin was a great pick for Cable. Like everybody was expecting like fuck, what's his name? The guy from Avatar.
Oh, Sam Worthington?
No. Older.
Oh, Stephen
Like,
Lang, yeah.
Stephen Lang, yeah. Because people want him to be like Deathstroke or Cable.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I was like, I could see that.
Yeah. I heard one of the first choices was Michael Shannon from Man of Steel. I was like, that would be pretty interesting. Not gonna lie. And Michael Shannon does the deadpan of like, everything goes above my head. I'm too serious for anything. Look. Like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfectly fit. But yeah, Josh Brolin does the role well. He is fucking jacked in this movie. Like, Jesus Christ Almighty.
Yeah. He looks great and he performs great. Like seeing this Cable,
Yeah.
like I had zero knowledge on what Cable was. Like I knew who he was from X-Men, but I was like, I don't really know what he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But seeing this now, I'm like, oh shit, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I knew he was the son of Cyclops and Jean. That's about it.
Mm.
I knew he was from the future, of course. But like other than that, I'm like I'm not too familiar with him. But yeah, this Deadpool movie is directed by not Chad, David Leitch, who also did the first John Wick, which the credits of this movie point out. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh right, I'm expecting two things. Well, one of the things I'm expecting is really solid action, which we do get here. But unfortunately, this movie takes a dive in points for me because they do fridge Vanessa right off the bat. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but I don't think they fridged her. Like, I don't think they fully fridged her. Because they bring her back at
That still kind of makes it worse because you're like, what's the point then? This whole plot of him being a better hero.
I guess, but like... I guess. I don't know. It's very weird. Like, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I didn't have a problem with it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm happy that they're back, and also that Deadpool learned a thing or two.
Yeah. Also,
That's fine.
find out that his taxi buddy wants to be just like him because in the first movie, kidnaps his cousin and kills him. And you're like, oh, right,
Yeah.
you're not arrested. Why? Okay. But yeah, Deadpool is incorporated to the X-Men because Colossus is like, I can't let you stew in the self-pity bullshit, so come on with us. And they try to help, what's his face? Russell? Fire Fist?
Yeah.
You have no idea who this mutant is in the comics. I'm like, this is like the
same.
third X-Men with fire powers. Sorry.
Oddest thing, too, is that, like, I remember that Cable is supposed to be, like, from 3,000, oh, like, not 3,000, like 1,000 years
In the future.
in the future. But I'm guessing this one's just in like maybe a couple of years from down the road.
Yeah, definitely. Like maybe I'll give it like 100. It's not like
No, because like Russell is like
yeah.
they showed like older
Oh right.
Russell,
Yeah. He's like what? Maybe 30s, 40s.
40s probably.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so is Cable alive now?
But yeah, you see Deadpool fail tremendously in this in this rescue attempt. Like he just pulls out the guns at the hollow point and like Negasonic Teenage Warhead is like, what the fuck are you doing? And he is right. That name is unbelievably hard to pronounce. Like why is such a long name? Why? I don't understand this. But yeah, she's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, it's fine. It's the hollow point. She's like, what?
Did you say Hollow Point?
Yeah, and then he finds out that Russell is being abused in the facility, and he takes out one of the nurses, and Colossus is like, you have failed me for the last time, Deadpool. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but again, you just gotta love Deadpool. You gotta love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. You can't escape how witty he is, because majority of the time, Deadpool is genuinely funny.
Yeah. Uh, I do love the scene in the beginning when they see the X-Men. He's like, "Why is no one here?" And then James
Like,
McAvoy is just like,
did you all
"Shh."
bust the budget? Yeah, like you see, like the Beast like closing the door and whatnot.
Yeah, it's like, no, we don't have the patience to deal with that. But yeah, him and Russell are taken to this ice box where there's this big, like, door containing something, and I don't know why. My thought was like, apocalypse? No, that's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, he was like, oh, he's behind those doors with a big foreshadowing. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
Like, I love. Does he break the fourth wall? He only breaks it once, I think.
no, he does this multiple times because he's talking to the audience multiple times.
I think that's the only time I actually noticed him, like breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, like directly looking to the camera.
Like he directly looked at the camera,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
telling us that there's a big foreshadowing character that's coming up later on.
yeah.
But again, I love the, I love the prison wallet. I love the hepatitis pen. Like, I love how Deadpool was like, all right, another dirty mutant off the streets. All right, boys, let's get tacos. Like he tries to nonchalant leave the
Right.
cell.
And then I do love the prison scene when Cable first appears and kills everybody. You're like, holy fuck, Josh Brolin as this character is pretty kick-ass.
Yeah. And just love Deadpool's going, hold up, John Connor.
So dark. Are you sure you're not from the DC universe? I'm like, funny. And then they escape. Well, they escape because Deadpool pulls the pin. They both blow out the prison, and then he realizes like, I can't. Oh, that's what Vanessa means when like I'm not ready to enter the afterlife because I have to have a perfect something. What do you call that? Follow my heart. Have a perfect heart. Something like that.
Yeah, wait, his heart isn't ready.
Yeah, thank you. And then that's when he talks to his buddy to form X-Force, and they're like, all right, X-Force again.
I love the scene where they're just like Banu is just like, I want to be part of the team. Like, what's your superpower? And Banu just like has a long pause and is like, courage. Die.
There's who's in the team? There's Terry Crews as Bedlam. There's Bill
Yeah.
Skarsgård as the guy who just vomits acid.
Zeitgeist.
Yeah, Zeitgeist. There's
Yeah.
Cole from Mortal Kombat as the alien.
From Mojo World. I don't
Yeah.
understand. But anyway, yeah.
And
And,
Domino.
like they're forming a team and then they get like Domino
Yeah.
and and then they get Peter. Like Banu's like at the back. It's like I was like, oh, I just saw the flyer. I thought it was gonna be fun. And I was like, you're in.
Yeah.
But it was just like,
And then X-Force rolls out to intercept the prison transport with Russell. And you're like, all right, X-Force. And then one by one, they just die. And you're like, what? I remember that being the selling point of the trailer. I was like, all right, X-Force.
yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, cool. We're gonna get Deadpool with his gray suit, which we do, but without the team.
Yeah.
But
Poor Terry Crews
But
just
like-
eats it with a bunch like, holy fuck.
yeah. Poor Brad Pitt gets like the fight. By the way, yeah, I forgot Brad Pitt's here.
Right?
As the Vanisher.
Like, I was watching this with my mom, and we just turned to each other, we're like, was that Brad Pitt?
Like no one knew until like he got shocked. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess
People-
they could only afford him for that one, like maybe
Scene.
3 seconds.
Yeah, people were like, who the fuck is Vanisher? Is that Brad Pitt? Holy fuck.
Yeah. And then like Bill Skarsgård gets like eaten up by a wood chipper.
He vomits on
Peter
Peter.
gets Peter gets thrown up on. I again and like what's his name again? Shatterstar. There you go.
yeah.
Gets like mincemeat by a helicopter. Shit was so fucking funny and it was so unpredictable
Yeah.
and adverted our expectations.
Yeah, and then Domino gets into the transport because her power is luck, and you're like, right, I forgot that's a thing in the comics.
Yeah, I like it. I like how like everything just falls into place for her,
Yeah,
and she kind of like plays it off as something normal, but Deadpool is still kind of like in denial about it.
yeah. It's a pretty solid scene between her, Cable, and Deadpool. Especially when Deadpool does that scene in X-Men Origins where he's blocking the bullets, but it's just going through him. And you're like, right, technically that would be bullshit.
Yeah. He's walking in, he's like, ow.
And Cable shoots that one guy, Black Tom, and Deadpool's like, you racist! He's like, I'm not a racist, you idiot. What?
Yeah, I forgot about that scene where they're in the prison, and then like Black Tom comes up and was like, introduces himself. It was like Black Tom Cassidy, White Wade Wilson, and just fucking die.
This man is a character of no consequence except for a very great punchline of like, you racist!
You kill Black Tom, you racist.
And then Russell reveals who his friend is by the end, and you're like, oh fuck, it's the Juggernaut. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, that was
And
totally
we finally
unexpected.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, and it's voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Look up the IMDb, bro.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know it, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
I am speechless. Go on, sorry.
No, but yeah, this shit was so fucking funny. By the way, I don't know if it was a Fast and the Furious reference. When Deadpool was like driving the Hummer, like with the sword.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "I'm coming, Dom."
Probably. And once again, the Deadpool franchise has like redeemed the character that was so done dirty the past movies, which is the Juggernaut. He's not Mr. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Like he's a proper Juggernaut. They're like, thank God you got some redemption in you. And
Yeah,
like,
and they stuck with continuity because they were like, "Oh, I had a brother. I put him in a wheelchair." I'm like, "What?"
yeah. Well, he didn't put him in the wheelchair. That's
I'm
so,
sorry, he's in a wheelchair.
that's so like oh, for Charles.
Yeah, he didn't pull a Bruce Wayne on him.
Yeah. And then that's where we get the baby leg scene, and you're like, I'm with Domino, where I'm like, good lord, that is disturbing.
But I just love that scene where he's just like, "You remind me of my wife." He's like, "I am so uncomfortable right now, the fact that you're saying that and you're putting on lip balm
And that's
at
when
the same time."
that's when Cable like comes to them and like, I need your help because you unleashed the Juggernaut, you fucking idiot. And you're like, oh, when you put it like that, sure, we can help.
Yeah. And then they form a team.
What do you call the movie where the guy has the stereo and he's trying to serenade someone? I forgot the movie.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But it was was this In Your Eyes song? I'm like,
Yeah.
he's like trying to woo Colossus back into the team because they are fighting the Juggernaut.
Yeah. And then they're like, fuck it, we'll fight him ourselves.
So have fun in Chateau de Virgin, and we're gonna have our fuck up.
And then when he confronts the Juggernaut, he points to his buddy, the taxi driver. He's like, I'm gonna shove that taxi driver up your ass. And the guy's like, I am so soft. I'm gonna go back to the car. You're like, yeah, probably for the best, man.
Probably for the best.
Do you listen to the soundtrack? Because when they're fighting the Juggernaut, it's
Yeah.
all like,
Oh shit. Like it was like the theme for the Juggernaut is just people cursing that, oh shit, we're dealing with a Juggernaut.
right? You're like, yes, you know what? It's appropriate. Why not?
Yeah, it's like, holy shit balls.
Yeah, right? And then, thankfully, Colossus comes in time, and you're like, I've never read a comic where Juggernaut and Colossus fight, so it was such a cool scene. Even though it is a CGI battle, you're like, you know what? For these two, it's fine. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the Hulk fighting the Juggernaut. I would expect the same thing. And then, him and Cable have a deal of like, give me 5 minutes with the kid to save him. And if not, we can put a bullet in him. And he's like, fine.
It was like 30 seconds.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 30 seconds. And then they killed all the evil doctors together. And there's a sweet scene where Cable has one doctor and Deadpool has another doctor, and they both...
And they just like both shotgun their faces off.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's so sick.
Yeah.
I love I love the scene before like they start seeing the PDF files and like Deadpool's just like, can I have one of those guns? No. I was like, alright, I'll just use this brick. Maximum effort.
Like all this time Deadpool's commenting like, I hope after this you learn to judge people not by the color of their skin. Cable's like, for fuck's sake.
but for the content of their character. And he's like dying at that moment. Cable's just like, Jesus Christ.
Right? And then Colossus dispatches Juggernaut in like the only way a Deadpool movie can. You're like, alright, I wasn't expecting that, but sure. Why not?
Like, okay, when?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets a little dirty too. Like, man, I mean, like, Colossus like puts on like this like spiked brass knuckles.
Yeah.
And shoves it in like Juggernaut's eye. I'm like, oh, I did not need to see that.
And then he breaks Juggernaut's thumb. He's like, you son of a bitch, and just whacks him with a bus.
because he called him a commie motherfucker.
Alright. And then they confront Russell, and you think, like, maybe, and then Russell's like, I can't. I'm sorry, man. Then Cable's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna end you anyway, because you did kill my family. And then Deadpool gets in the way with the power inhibitor, and you're like, oh fuck, is Deadpool gonna die? You're right, he does look like X-Force Deadpool. Like, that's pretty sick. But why does Deadpool have to die? I don't understand. Even when the collar is being removed, it's like, no, I want this. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Right now?
Yeah, like, again, it's odd. It's not needed. And I agree with you. Like, it didn't have to be in this movie. Where Vanessa dies, Deadpool goes through all of this. But it was executed so well that I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. You're like, you know what? It's Deadpool. Other movies, I'm like, that's lazy writing. Even Deadpool calls it out when, I forgot what the situation was. But it's like, well, that's lazy writing. And then he calls it out the second time. It was like, Christ's sake, this is lazy.
Yeah, with the one word, like, the pen, like,
yeah,
they're trying to get the collar off. But yeah, and it was such a long-winded joke, but it worked so well where he just wouldn't die.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many moments of, like, it's like the perfect, like, goodbye send-off things. And he just comes back.
Remember, Cable, not to judge people by the color of their skin. He's like,
Their skin, but the content of the character.
Just like, for fuck's sake.
And even Cable was just like... he's just, like, waiting for it.
Yeah. And then Cable's like, you know what? My family would be safe anyway. So he goes back in time, puts the ski ball token in Deadpool, and he's like, alright, let's do this. And then it plays out exactly like the movie again, but this time with added like bulletproof protection. And he's like, oh, you do care about me. You did it for me. No, I didn't. You did do it for me. No, I didn't. And then they hug, and Cable's like, for fuck's sake. Then Deadpool tries other things. He's like, I will stab you in the dick if you try anything else. You're like, okay, sure.
And like, yeah, they, like, the day ends. I'm just like, all right, they saved the day. They killed a lot of people. But gets his redemption arc by running over that really horrible person.
Yeah, and the corporation is called Essex, and you're like, and I'm like, Mr. Sinister's here? Where? And like,
yeah. I was like, this sounds very familiar.
Yeah, the later X-Men movies keep teasing Mr. Sinister, and you just never get him. You're like, where is he? And like, they also tease him in New Mutants. You're like, all right, I know it's supposed to be Antonio Banderas as Mr. Sinister, but like they just never pushed through. But yeah, I agree with you that would have been a sick casting. But yeah, Bantu saves the day, kills the head guy, and they all walk happily into the sunset. And you're like, it's a pretty good movie. It's a pretty good sequel. Not on the same level as the first one, but like I think this is passable.
This movie, like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this one a little bit more than the first one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like, I get the shock factor of like, oh, we didn't know we could have superhero movies like this, but this one had heart, especially when the heart didn't need to be there.
Right.
Like, I agree with you. Like, it's kind of weird that they went with this, where they kill off Vanessa. Deadpool has to go through all of this. We get such an emotional scene where they play like a slower version of "Take on Me," and he's with Vanessa, and like they're not yet ready to, like, he's not yet ready to be in the afterlife yet.
Yeah.
Because he has his own F word, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And then he like goes back in time and saves her.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I feel like this is a very Deadpool thing to do.
Yeah, that's
Like,
other.
I'm not even mad about it. Like, if this was any other character and they did this, I would have been so pissed off at the end. I'm like, then what the fuck was the point of the entire movie? But knowing the fact that this is Deadpool, they stuck with it, and we know the character would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
It works.
He doesn't just
It really
stop
does.
at Vanessa. He kills himself in Origins and then he kills himself in Green Lantern.
And like writing the script for Green Lantern. I was like, there it is.
All right. But yeah, it's a good movie. I do like these two movies, and I can't wait to see what number 3 does, because again, it is Deadpool and Wolverine, and you're like, fucking finally, proper Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the fact that we get the first duo of Deadpool, which is Deadpool and Cable in this one. And again, Josh Brolin is pretty great as Cable. And knowing the fact that he had this and Thanos months before, you're like, Jesus Christ, Josh Brolin is killing it this year.
Yeah. And imagine a paycheck. Wow.
Yeah, holy shit. He also had Sicario 2, and you're like, oh my god, it really is the year of Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Uh,
Agreed.
but all that being said, what would you rate Deadpool 2?
I rate Deadpool. I didn't really have that much problems with Deadpool 2. Well, now that you mentioned, like, yeah, the scene with Vanessa and them fridging her, wasn't really needed. But for me, I still kind of find it like, oh, okay, it's still like, it was executed. It was not needed, but it was executed very well. But I would say, I guess one like a solid 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I had fun with this. It's not a perfect movie, but it's such a good movie, and it had me laughing the entire time. And Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is like the equivalent of casting Hugh Jackman as Wolverine,
Yeah.
Henry Cavill as Superman. He is just the right fit.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give this an 8 out of 10. I do like this. I really is carried by Ryan Reynolds and of course Josh Brolin as Cable and Zazie Beetz as Domino. All of them are pretty great in this movie. I like also the side characters. Like of course there's Russell, there's Colossus, and again he's another X-Men character that has been redeemed, because before the 2 movies of Deadpool, he was always like a non-speaking role. When you're like, that's fucking Colossus. Why is he not speaking in this movie? Like even Days of Future Past, when he's just torn apart by the Sentinels, and you're like, I guess that's the end of Colossus. Shit.
Yeah. This one's like a comic lore. Was this comic accurate Colossus too?
Yeah.
I love his entire design.
Yeah, like just perfect casting for all the characters here. But yeah, I think this is a very good follow-up to the first Deadpool, and it's worthy to carry on the Deadpool legacy. And again, I keep saying this, but I can't wait to see where it ends with this year's Deadpool movie, because it is a combination of everything. Hopefully, since it is the only MCU movie, you're like, come on, how can you get this wrong? Come on, man.
Yeah.
And it's Ryan Reynolds doing the story, so you're like, I doubt. I might be setting myself up for failure, but like I doubt it'll be a disaster. You know?
I also agree. Like I doubt anything will go wrong. The studios know that if they fuck this up, a lot of people would have been just like, all right, we gave you all the entire formulas to have a successful franchise,
Yeah.
but you even fucked up like the one of like maybe the best thing that you have given us.
Yeah. Right.
So like a lot of fans would lose faith in Marvel if they fuck up Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And they
I
need
don't think
this
they
win.
would allow.
Yeah.
Hmm?
They need this win, since next year is their debut of the Fantastic Four with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, and you're like, if this fails, I don't think anyone's gonna watch that one, to be honest, or the other
True.
Avenger movies. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, to the audience watching, what's your favorite of the Deadpool movies? Between 1 and 2, is it the first one or the second one? No, not Origins. That doesn't count.
You're very redundant.
I know. Anyway, but yeah. Or sorry, what's your favorite R-rated comic book movie? That's a better question. Is it the Ultimate Edition of BVS? Is it Watchmen? Is it V for Vendetta? Whatever it is, comment down below. But yeah, that's been a video for the second Deadpool movie. If you guys like our videos, please leave them a like. Are you still thinking about it?
Yeah. Anyway, just go on. Just go on.
Please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. I think it's Watchmen for me. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Okay, understood.
We're also on TikTok and Spotify. TikTok to see your best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, I'm Zoda's Voices on TikTok and Anne's Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you? Do you have your answer?
No, I don't. You can find me at JohnGM_ on Instagram. It is my art account. I'll say BVS. Nah. I'm gonna go with Watchmen too. Like.
Not Logan?
Yeah. Huh?
Logan's R-rated.
Right. Yeah, Logan's my favorite one. Anyway, yeah, you can find me at JohnGM_ on Instagram. You can find me at JohnG. Fuck off. Okay, what are you doing? You can find me at JohnGM_ on Instagram. It is my art account. There we go.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.